Peter here, aka Peter Freakout 10, bringing another episode of the Movie Review Show. The good movies are always reviewed. Now, some of you might be wondering why I'm not as eccentric as I am when I do these movie reviews. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to do a review for you guys. It's just, I had a really bad day today, and something really ticked me off today, and I still can't get over it, but you guys might be saying, you're in no condition to do a movie review. I love doing movie reviews, so that's how I am, and I want to do it for you guys because I love doing them. But I'm pretty sure this film will get my mind off it. Anyway, on to the review. Now, today I'm going to talk about a film today I'm going to be talking about the third film in the Halloween franchise, and it's the one that, let's just say, did not get what it wanted, and a lot of people put this at the bottom of their favorites. And that film is none other than Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. And I could definitely tell that a lot of people hate this film because I looked at a lot of reviews. A lot of people have ranted on this film, said, oh my god, it's a piece of junk. But I have a reason why. There's no Michael Myers in it. However, if you're wondering why, John Carpenter, I think, had a reason for this. He wanted to take it in the same way of, like, the fact that anything could happen on Halloween, and he really wanted to do something other than just do the same thing over and over again with a Halloween movie. He wanted to do something different, and he wanted to see if it would please the fans, if they were taking a different route. And so he came up with the idea of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. He gave it to Tommy Lee Wallace, the director of Stephen King's It and Vampire 2, the sequel to John Carpenter's Vampires. And the film, everybody got way too hyped for it, and they went and saw it, and they hated it. They ran it on the fact that Michael Myers was not in it, and just ran it on how stupid the premise was. And to tell you the truth, I have to say this. This is one of my favorite in the Halloween series. I think it does not deserve all the poor reception it's gotten. I think a lot of these people, the people who saw it, looked at it way too much like, pretty much looked at the fact that it was supposed to be Halloween and they were expecting something from a Halloween movie. They were expecting a little bit more than this. So when they saw it, they were like, what the heck is this? This is not Halloween. This is not what we got. But I'll get to that later. Basically, as I said, the film was made in 19... Hold on one second. 1982, and it was directed, as I said, Tommy Lee Wallace, and the film has a pretty well-known cast, but a lot of them may not be remembered by today's standards. For example, you got Tom Atkins, the guy from Lethal Weapon, Maniac Cop. He was also in Night of the Creeps, The Fog, and he was in the recent remake of My Bloody Valentine, and he was also in Creepshow, the abusive dad that took away the son's comic book. He's in this film, too. You got Stacey Nelkin, who I don't know anything about, and it also has Dan O'Helia as Colonel Cochran, who also was in RoboCop, the man who ran OCP, and I think this is a pretty good cast, but I'll get into that later. But basically, the film is basically about this. The film is basically about this guy named Dr. Daniel Chalice, played by Tom Atkins, who one night is called into work and after being told this man was found trying to escape from these basically, I don't want to spoil what they are. Let's just say they're not human people. These not human people that are working for a company called Silver Shamrock. And And when he's sent to the hospital, he's found carrying a mask with him. Um, uh, One of these masks that look like this, only it's a pumpkin. And he's blabbing out that they're gonna kill us all, and so they send him to a room and they put him to sleep. However, one of the men who finds him and they kill him while in bed. And then after that, the man goes to his car and kills himself by setting himself on fire. And after that whole thing, the daughter of the man who was killed, named Ellie, played by Stacey Nelkin, uh, finds out her father was killed, and wants to get deeper into this. So she decides to head to Silver Shamrock Town along with Dr. Daniel Chalice because they believe that his death could be linked to the company, and that they could be getting something out of this. So they decide to set out on the road there, and they find out that this man named Colonel Cochran is using something on the mask that'll kill all the kids. And so now, will Dr. Daniel Chalice be able to stand up and stop this whole shenanigans, or will they all be seen dead on the floor on Halloween night after the big giveaway? Now, Halloween 3, you could definitely tell, is a weird film, and it is kinda, but I like it. I literally do like this film. Just because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it, that doesn't mean it's a bad film. I think John Carpenter was trying to make the series anthology, look more anthology rather than just have it all plain slasher. Because John Carpenter is capable of anything he could do. Like John Carpenter, I think he wanted to do more with the series, turn it into something, but a lot of people just got mad that Michael Myers was not in it. So they went to the extreme and they were like, oh my god, this film was bad. But I think the story's interesting, and how they use what they use on the mask was actually pretty cool. I had to say it probably was a unique idea for it, and it's an idea that I could not see coming and I could not see happening. So overall, for those who are complaining that the story is actually bad, I think it's actually pretty good. I think it has a few twists and turns that I was surprised, like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming. I just thought that it was very well done. I thought it carried it out well. I thought it was well done, and it showed us it pretty well. So overall, I thought the story in it was very well done, very well thought out, and I definitely think it's a very good supernatural film. Like, because it goes from being a slasher back to a supernatural film, and I think the direction they took it was actually very well done. That's not being said like it's better than the Michael Myers story. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna look at this film as a Halloween film, you're gonna hate it. But if you're gonna rip out Halloween 3 and just call it Season of the Witch, you're gonna enjoy it more than you think. Because I think people just said, oh, Halloween 3, it's gonna have Michael Myers in it. Bloody killings, yay! And in a way, I thought there was some cool scenes in this film, which I'll get into later, but I thought the film was actually very well done with its story and such. But another thing I do like about the film is the acting. The acting is very well done. I think Tom Atkins did a very well done job. And believe me, Tom Atkins to me, I think is a very underrated actor. I don't think he gets a lot of credit, and I think he's actually one of the better 80s B actors. And in this film, I thought he did a very well done job. He gave a very good personality to the character, and I like the fact that he's open minded throughout the film and is curious to figure out what's going on in this town. And I just thought he actually did the part perfectly. Like, I could not see anybody else doing it but him. Well, typically you could, but he does it in a way where he's not particularly forcing a lot to you. You like to hold on. But overall, I definitely think that he did a good job with the part. Stacey Nelkin, I also thought did a pretty good job. She definitely did a good job as the kind-hearted daughter who you want to care about till the end when we revealed what she actually is, which I'm not going to spoil. Well, but it's actually pretty shocking what she is, and we get to see what she actually is. And when we do, we're like, wow, how did that happen? But she did a pretty good job. I'm not saying she's great. I'm not saying she's perfect. She did a very well done job. Done job. Also, Dan O'Harley, RoboCop, I think is probably to be one of the best actors in the film, because it's so different from the guy who plays Michael Myers, and it's so different from Michael Myers. Like it's trying to be something different, and I do like this whole idea of him because he's basically running the company, and he puts something in the mask to kill all the kids for some odd reason because he wants the thing to run black because of run red because of what happened a long time ago, which I can understand. Which is kind of cool. I do like that whole idea of like a man who hates Halloween and such. But I do like him in this film. I think he's very oily, very creepy, very energetic. You can definitely tell he's trying. So I definitely enjoyed the acting in this film. Now, what's the thing I love most about the one thing I do love most about the film is its soundtrack. The soundtrack in this film has to be probably to me one of the best soundtrack I've heard in a horror film. So, to me, it is one of my favorites. I know I'm not dissing on the John Carpenter theme because the John Carpenter theme will always be classic, but this I think has a very Atari like soundtrack, and I think it works out pretty well. And I think it works out pretty well. Something like that, but I can't do it. But I think it's actually very well done. The soundtrack by, what's his name? John Carpenter actually did the music well, but John Carpenter I think is a very good composer, and he definitely did a good job with the music, and I definitely think it fits the film very well done. And I think the special effects in this film are actually pretty cool too. Like there's one scene in the film where this woman finds like the back of the mask, the Silver Shamrock logo on the back of the mask, and she starts playing with it because there's like a computer chip in the background or something. But she gets electrocuted by it when she starts poking at it, and her face looks all like roadkill and such. But that was a very cool scene. There's another scene where a kid is in the test room because they do a scene with him in the test room, and he watches it and he puts on the mask and he falls down, and all these bugs and snakes come out of him, and they start biting the parents who are in the room with him. But I thought the special effects in this film were actually very well done. Uh, sure, there's not many special effects in the film, but I definitely think that for the scenes that there were special effects actually worked and weren't just like, oh, play CGI. I thought they were actually very, very cool. But I definitely enjoyed the special effects in this film. Very, very well done special effects. So for those who are complaining, the special effects look fake, they don't look that bad. But I gotta say something about this film that seems to get hated on. Just because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it, you gotta look at what John Carpenter was trying to do. He didn't want to stick within the same vein as the Halloween film that we all know and love. He was trying to make something different. He really wanted to go into more anthology type. However, I don't think people accepted that because they were really looking forward to having Michael Myers back on the big screen, and they were really looking forward to him to see him start killing some more. I'll pick that up after. But I definitely think that this is an underrated film. I think it deserves more attention. And you can't forget, 8 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 8 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. I love those commercials. I rehearse them. I'm gonna play those every day. I play those every day in the month of October. But I think it's underrated. I think it gets hated just because it's not a Halloween film that we want, and I think it's hated of because it just doesn't feel like Halloween when it's trying to be something different. It's trying to be a supernatural thriller when really I don't think people accepted that. I just wanted and we're just too picky about it, which I think is unnecessary and should just look should have looked at this more of like a pretty much after the first two they should have looked at it as an anthology. And believe it or not, after this film he was planning to take it into the anthology genre and make more like every single year there'll be a Halloween film about different things, but because of this and Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, which as you can tell, they went back to Michael Myers. So, pretty much we can thank Halloween 3 for taking us back to that. But I think this film is a very well done horror film. It is cheesy, but it is so much fun to me. I watch this every Halloween, and it just is a film that I think deserves more attention, deserves more praise than what it's given, and I just think it's very well done. Now, there is one thing I can't say that ruins the film, is its ending. The ending in this film stinks. The ending doesn't explain anything, and it just goes on and on. Well, it doesn't go on, it just stops. It just stops in the middle of the film when the problem's about to be resolved. I know they're trying to make it on a cliffhanger, but it just doesn't work. It really doesn't work, and you're supposed to think about it, but I think the ending could have been so much better. But overall, Halloween 3, I think, is one of those films to me that's an underrated gem, and I think deserves more credit than it's been given, and I think deserves a little bit more, deserves to be seen a little bit more. So, for those who are complaining, need to have an open mind and stop whining just because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. Give it a chance. You may not like it. You may like it, but that's your opinion. But my final verdict for Halloween 3 is a 9 out of 10. It is a great movie. It is just, to me, one of my favorite Halloween films, and it earns my seal of approval. It definitely is better than Halloween 2, I gotta say. Halloween 2, for some reason, after watching it, I liked it a little bit more, yet I liked the first one the best. No. But overall, definitely go check out Halloween 3 if you like those type of films. But definitely a very well done film. But that's my review for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Next time, I'm going to be reviewing another John Carpenter film, The Thing. This is what I've been planning to do, and I have the video game. I'll do a review of that once I finish playing the movie, once I finish watching the movie, and I'll tell you guys how it is in my next video. I'll see you guys later. Tell me what you guys think of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch in the comments below. Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? Have you guys not seen it yet? Tell me what you guys think of it, and I'll answer questions if necessary. But be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.